Hi, this is Tim Cullity doing the 1.1a Professional Development Plan Final video upload, talking about my presentation here. Going through the final, I was referring back to my first draft, obviously. My coaching philosophy overall stayed pretty similar. I did edit it. I think I didn't have a clear picture of how to write it out. I think my second attempt got a little cleaner, but I'm sure that'll still be changing over time. The focus is something I'm taking through this course is focusing on the players as people as well as players. I think that every player should enjoy playing, and me as a coach, I want to be a positive influence on my players both on and off the field. I really want to create a positive environment for any team I'm a part of so that they can learn and have fun. And I just want them to to view me as a coach as someone who cares about them both as a person, but also someone who helps them become better soccer players. I didn't really update much on my SWOT analysis. I think I did a fairly good job listing those out the first time around. It was definitely an interesting dynamic looking through this stuff, figuring out what the definitions of weaknesses are, what the definition of threats are. So that's definitely something to be learned from when you're focusing just professionally. That threats of your personal life doesn't really sound like a threat, but it's definitely something to consider. As I have a growing family. Maybe my role needs to change in my job. Maybe some things need to change at home, but you never know. So those are threats that I need to be aware of going forward. The comparison of my level of performance based on my SMART goals, that was something I enjoyed reading over again. Something this course is making me do is definitely reflect and analyze myself more. My first goal was to communicate that I want to establish a team culture, define our characteristics. I always felt like I encouraged the team dynamic, but sitting down with them at the beginning of this season, it was good timing when we had this assignment. Most of the team that I'm really focusing on here, my U13 girls here, we've had a good amount of the players together for 3-4 years now, but we've been adding in players here and there, and I think the team dynamic is strong and it's a good culture, but reestablishing what I expect from the girls, how they behave, how they treat each other, how we treat opponents, how we treat refs, it really got us back on the same page to go forward. I think they all feel comfortable. I checked in with the new players, see how they feel going forward, and it seemed like I had 2 players join over the winter, and it seemed like they got right into the team. But I think connecting and establishing our team dynamics, our culture, really made them feel more comfortable. In the meeting, I also wanted to talk about our expectations of performance on the year, what we want to work on. Another big part of this course has been connecting the dots, whether it's a season plan, a weekly plan, just the activities connecting to each other during a session, or the game. What are you talking about pregame? Are you relating it back to your week's your practice during the week? Are you at halftime? Are you completely off topic? Were you talking about defending in practice, and now all of a sudden you're talking about how you need to score more at halftime? So connecting the dots on everything. As a team, we talked about what we wanted to set as a goal. I wanted to try to make it quantifiable where we could see if it was working or not. We decided we wanted to work on shooting a little bit more. We're a team that kind of doesn't have the selfish player when needed. So that was, not always the worst thing, but something that the girls wanted to work on. We wanted to work on playing the midfielders out wide, try to get more crosses in. And then something we've been talking about from the fall was be a little bit more flexible on your positions. You're not always stuck in your baseline formation. And something else in this course I've been able to take is the style of play, and the system of play. It's not always just 4-3-3 at all times, and helping kids understand that has been good. Reflecting on another goal was managing the environment. Back at our in-person meeting, we had a lot of talk about creating what you want out of the activity in the field setup. That's been really interesting for me to try to analyze, instead of just, I'll make the target goal with the goalie in it, and then I don't know, the defending team can go shoot on 2 puck nets. It's like, okay, what's the purpose of the 2 puck nets? Should it be 3? Are we trying to work on dribbling out of the back? Maybe it should be an end zone. So putting that into practice has definitely been something I've been striving to do. Not all my sessions are able to be preset, as we have teams training before us, but when I do have the opportunity to set up the field and have good quick transitions, that's been something that I've really enjoyed having ready to go. Not having an assistant makes that a little bit harder. So on the transition, so if it's preset and ready to go, and you can just use cones from the previous one, and it'll just get things going even better. So I've enjoyed. Another goal of mine was about the session planning. This course has been really eye-opening about how specific you should, or potentially you should be, on connecting the dots, picking a topic. The style, the model, the gameplay model has been a great resource for me to look at. I really see the importance of picking out a principle or 2, narrowing it down to those 2. That's what we're going to work on this week. That's what you as a coach is going to push that week, and even just figuring out what verbiage to use. Look at the principle, look at the sub-principle, and let's talk about the player actions. What is going to help the players get better? A big thing out of my in-person weekend was when I was leading a session, I was kind of coaching all over the place. I'm not saying I was coaching both defending and attacking, but when I talked about defending, I kind of got into other principles that my session wasn't necessarily about that day. And going forward, I want to make sure I specify it more. The comparison to a day at school for these kids was very eye-opening to me. It's like, all right, how much can these kids take in? You can't possibly hope to achieve 7 principles in the same session. So that's been a big target of mine, looking at my SMART goals. How can I get better at that? I think I've been getting better at it, but still going to keep going. My last goal I haven't really been able to attack very much. It's about analyzing data. I don't have any assistants, and we don't have any camera to record games. So essentially, my hope is to look into getting one of those, VO cameras or something along those lines. The learning progression, I think the course has been really helpful. I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot, but I've enjoyed it when we're in it. It's helping structure sessions, game plans, and I feel as though I'm getting a new baseline of how to go about trainings, like I just said, to be more specific. It's also been pretty gratifying to see that this course is just as focused on the players as people as it is on the actual soccer game. It's not just seeing them as, video game players. How are you performing? They're not professionals. They're kids. The reminder of how you need to connect with them as people has been a really good part of this course that I've enjoyed. Going forward, any challenges that I'm anticipating, I'm having a second baby, so that will be certainly tough. I need to find a new normal of my reflections on games, my analyzing. That's usually what I do when I get home. I'll spend some time on my own. Will I have that time? I don't know. As well as planning sessions. When I get to work, I'll need to do some other responsibilities. Maybe I need to find different ways to plan my sessions than relying on time at work. just to wrap up with the reflection on this, the main takeaways have definitely been the connecting the dots. It makes sense as a coach to do that, but what I'm kind of taking away is how it's going to help the players learn better at each session rather than hopping all over the place and giving them wealth of information. The biggest thing is just they're not going to take in everything if you coach like that. So let's be more specific and give them a goal that they can take away one or two major points from each session going forward. Looking forward, how I improve and adapt. I'll always be looking to adapt each session, each game, each week. Depends on how the kids are, how old they are, what they need. But for myself, I'm going to keep looking for opportunities to take coaching courses, not only just for the course itself, but something I've really enjoyed out of this one is being able to meet other coaches, talk with them, learn from them, especially the ones that are, in different circumstances than me. In this course, we have, professional coaches. I'm over here coaching half the day, like 7-year-olds, but I can still, it's amazing how similar my club teams are. There are still references to be made between me and the coach that's coaching 30-year-old guys. So just hearing about their experiences, hearing other opinions, I feel like the growth mindset is very important as a coach, and that's something that you're only going to get when you are with other coaches. So that'll be something I look to keep doing. Overall, I've really enjoyed the course. Look forward to making myself improve both as a person and as a coach, and hoping I do the same for the players, both as players, athletes, and especially them as people, as kids.